Hey there YouTube, Wrestling Optimus here, back with my review of AEW WrestleDream, which served as a tribute to the late great Antonio Inoki. Coming to us from Seattle, Washington, there's actually a bunch of hometown boys on the roster, which kept the crowd pumped all night long. Now, I'm still a little salty at the Elite Boys, but the show ended up being too good to ignore and featured my favorite wrestler Darby Allin in the main event. Plus, a very noteworthy surprise at the end. So I said screw it and watched, mostly to do this video, but I didn't pay for it. Anyway, I think there's been enough talk. Let's take it over to the action figures. Okay, technically I did watch the pre-show, but I wasn't paying much attention and I forget most of what happened. It's free here on YouTube, so check it out if you want to know the results. The main card opened with MJF defending his and Adam Cole's Ring of Honor Tag Team titles against the Righteous in a hilarious 2-on-1 handicap match where the crowd basically served as MJF's tag team partner. Of course, there were plenty of the Devil's trademark shenanigans, including an eye poke on the Code of Honor handshake, the Eddie Guerrero chairshot fakeout, the kangaroo kick, and even Max calling his shot by shoving Vincent's head up Dutch's ass. Finally, he wins with the Heat Seeker and uses the ropes for leverage during the pin. Next up, Eddie Kingston defends both his Ring of Honor World Championship and his New Japan Strong Openweight title against Katsuyori Shibata. It's a classic battle of Japanese strong style versus King's Road style that probably fit the night's theme better than any other match. After exchanging chops and kicks, Eddie retains with 2 spinning back fists and a powerbomb. They embrace in a show of respect afterwards. In yet again the only women's action, Chris Statlander defends her TBS title against Julia Hart, who has a really cool entrance. I can't wait until they give her a figure because it's probably gonna be awesome, and it better have her hat. Commentary kept putting over Julia's 25-match win streak, but despite showing tons of improvement, and even getting a "This is awesome" chant, it's not enough to overcome the champ, as Statlander nails a tombstone and a Sunday night special to retain. Next, we get a 4-way number 1 contenders tag team match between the Guns, the Lucha Brothers, the Young Bucks, and the team of Orange Cassidy and Hook, who are the only team that aren't brothers and have never been tag champs before. The Handsome Devil gets the biggest pop of the match when he's tagged in and takes everyone to Suplex City. Unfortunately, after a botched double team move and a sloppy BTE trigger, the Young Bucks pin Penta to earn a shot at FTR and the AEW Tag Team titles. This despite them already being Ring of Honor 6-man champs, so we might get even more multi-belt holders, and this move killing all the momentum of fan favorites Orange Cassidy and Hook. Oh well. Because tonight's show is in Seattle, Hangman Page gets a surprisingly cold reception, including boos during his entrance and throughout the match. Meanwhile, hometown boy Swerve Strickland, joined by the entire Mogul Embassy, gets a monster pop and solidifies that this is, in fact, Swerve's house. The only thing more over than him is Prince Nana's dance. Speaking of Prince Nana, after a really great match, he distracts the ref and helps Swerve score the win in what some are already calling a star-making performance. Good old JR and Jon Moxley join commentary as Wheeler Yuta takes on Absolute Ricky Starks next. Ricky takes control for most of the match, but when Yuta finally gets the upper hand, out comes Big Bill. However, all he does is take a bump into the ring post, which Moxley jokes around means he doesn't have to get involved. But it's enough of a distraction as Ricky hits the Rochambeau and gets the win. Moxley stays on commentary as we're treated to a true technical dream match between his fellow BCC member and Washington's favorite son, even sporting Seahawks colors, the American Dragon Bryan Danielson, and one of Britain's finest exports, the New Japan World Television Champ, Zach Sabre Jr. This absolutely lived up to all the hype as these two men twisted each other into pretzels, drawing "This is wrestling" chants from the crowd. After an incredible showcase of holds and reversals, it's actually Bryan's Bo-Psycho knee that knocks out Sabre and gives Danielson the victory. As Nigel explains on commentary, a striking move doesn't settle the question who's the best technical wrestler in the world, so Zach refuses to shake Bryan's hand afterward. In probably the strangest match on the card, the so-called Don Callis family of Konosuke Takeshita, Sammy Guevara, and Will Ospreay took on Kenny Omega, his golden lover Kota Ibushi, and his fellow Canadian Chris Jericho. By the way, maybe it was just my feed, but I think they missed Jericho's entrance due to the pre-match video package. So much for Judas. To be completely honest, I had no interest in this match and I skipped a lot of it. I did manage to catch the standoff between Ibushi and Takeshita though, which was really cool. But in the end, Ospreay distracts Ref Aubrey by trying to use his title belt, allowing Don Callis to hit Jericho with his own bat. Sammy covers him and gets the win. FTR defend their AEW Tag Team titles against Aussie Open. Let's face it, we all knew how this would go. After a decent match, predictably, FTR hit a Super Shatter Machine and retained. Finally, in the main event, Darby Allin challenges Christian Cage for the TNT title in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne join their respective friends for their entrances, but then head to the back. Darby gets the final hometown pop of the evening. Then we're treated to a surprisingly technical match before Darby scores the first fall by pulling Christian's turtleneck over his face during a pin attempt. Christian tries flirting with Nick Wayne's mom at ringside, but catches a drink in the face for his troubles and one of Darby's signature dives. However, he manages to turn around and body slam Darby onto some steel steps, resulting in a countout and tying things up at 1 fall apiece. This also causes Medical to bring a stretcher out and strap Darby to it as Christian tears apart the ring canvas, then does a splash off the top rope onto Darby. Christian brings him back into the ring just so he can do a kill switch onto the exposed boards, but somehow Darby kicks out. Cage counters by kicking out of a coffin drop before accidentally spearing the ref. When he tries to use the belt, Nick Wayne appears and steals it. He stands side by side with Allin, then turns on him, clocking Darby with the title, much to the shock of fans, including his mom. Christian pulls the ref over for probably the slowest count I've ever seen, scoring his second fall and retaining the TNT Championship. Nick Wayne seemingly embraces his new father figure before they attack Darby together. That brings out Sting, who cleans house until Luchasaurus arrives and turns it into a 3-on-1. Suddenly, the lights go out and a video plays on the Tron showing someone driving up to the arena. You think you know me? Oh my god, it's Edge, aka Adam Copeland. He storms to the ring and confronts a chair-wielding Christian to chants of holy shit. Edge takes the chair as Nick Wayne sets up Sting for a concerto, but instead he smashes Nick with it. Christian bails while Luchasaurus gets hit with a spear and the crowd goes nuts. The babyfaces shake hands, and that's your lot. Okay, so I want to get this out of the way for context. In all the backstage drama, I'm not so much for CM Punk as I am against the Elite. To sum up my feelings, they're the EVPs. Just like with Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. As the de facto bosses, I hold them to a higher standard, and I definitely expect them to refrain from antagonizing the talent both on and off screen. And let's face it, if they're willing to run out the biggest star in the company, costing Tony Khan millions in merch, ticket sales, and TV ratings, which will be important during the upcoming television rights negotiations, then what are the Elite and their friends willing to do to wrestlers they dislike who don't have the same backstage pull as a CM Punk? I don't know, the whole thing has really soured me on AEW lately, no matter how good the in-ring product is. Even fast-forwarding through the Elite matches, it's still negatively impacted my enjoyment of the show. As I go back through my notes, every match was solid to great, and as I check the interwebs, most people seem to think it was a potential Show of the Year candidate filled with Match of the Year contenders. So, with all that said, I'm just gonna trust them and attribute my bad feelings to personal bias. AEW WrestleDream gets an 8 out of 10. because that's the scale I'm using today. Alright, that'll do it for AEW WrestleDream. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to do all that normal YouTube stuff. Smash the like button, share with any wrestling or action figure fans you may know, subscribe to the channel, and spread the word. You can also talk to me over on X at WrestlingOptimus, or see all my best figure photography over on Instagram at WrestlingOptimus. If you haven't seen my latest video, you can check that out right here. But until next time, I've been Wrestling Optimus, and I'll catch you later.